This section covers amendments and modifications to approved plans in Section 1237 of the Denver Zoning Code. The new Section 2, shown here under Modifications to Regulating Plans, Site Development Plans, or Zoning Permits, states that the zoning administrator may allow one or more ADU uses in excess of any specified number of dwelling units or maximum density in an approved regulating plan or site development plan according to the procedure outlined. New provision A, shown here, states that if an ADU use is added inside a primary structure or detached accessory structure already allowed by the approved site development plan, the ADU use may be added without requiring a modification or amendment to the governing site development plan. That means that only a zoning permit would be required. Provision B here states that construction of one or more new detached ADU structures or uses, or the proposed expansion of a primary structure approved in the original plan to accommodate a new ADU use, will trigger only the modification process and not the full amendment process for the site development plan. Previously, an amendment would be triggered because of the increase in the density or the number of units allowed in the plan. And provision C clarifies that the term site development plan includes site and development plans approved under former Chapter 59, but currently applied to lands zoned under the Denver Zoning Code. Section 12372A outlines the procedure and applicable rules for amendments to approved applications, plans, and permits. This subsection was revised to add descriptive headings, and a new procedure has been added to create a process to allow amendments to a previously approved site development plan without requiring participation of 100% of the property owners subject to that approved SDP. The second item in this section starts with the general rule that the entire land area and all owners must be included in the application for an amendment to an approved plan. 3 is new. It creates an exception to the general rule that all property owners be included in the application for an amendment. This is a discretionary pre-application review by the Development Review Committee, or DRC, against a set of criteria to ensure that no adverse impacts on the non-participating owners and surrounding community occur. And once again, this provision clarifies that SDP includes the site and development plans approved under former Chapter 59, but currently applied to lands zoned under the DZC. B here outlines the review process for the exception to the general rule for all owners to participate. The DRC may allow an amendment to move forward without all owners participating, provided the conditions in A and B are met. The review process for accessing this exception is spelled out here. Item B also notes that a zone lot located within the boundaries of a previously approved SDP may be allowed to move forward with a zone lot amendment without all owners of the zone lot participating, so long as the zone lot does not contain a single unit or 2-unit dwelling use, and as long as the conditions and criteria are met. So for those conditions and criteria, first, the applicant must participate in a mandatory pre-application review step. The DRC may include analysis of potential impacts on infrastructure construction, operations, or maintenance as a part of the information needed to make a decision. No later than 30 days after the pre-application meeting, the applicant shall send written informational notice to all property owners within the boundaries of the original SDP or zone lot area, and that follow the rules for providing an informational public notice, as well as providing owners with direction for submitting comments to CPD within 30 days of the mailing. Next, the DRC will make its decision having considered advice from other city or public agencies or departments. It will decide whether to approve or deny the exception based on the evidence, comments from non-participating owners, and applying the review criteria from A and B. First, under the criteria is that no adverse impact will result to non-participating owners subject to the previously approved plan or zone lot approval, or to the other affected properties or neighborhoods, or that substantial mitigation of those material adverse impacts will be included in the application. Second, in B, B asks that commitments made in the original approved plan, including all conditions of approval to provide public benefits, including dedications, construction of infrastructure, or affordable housing, will be fulfilled if the amendment is approved. After the DRC makes a final decision, CPD shall cause the applicant to provide mailed informational notice about the decision to allow the exception and right to appeal to all property owners within the originally approved site development plan area. And last, amendments to SDPs must be recorded with the clerk and recorder. Also under this section, we've narrowed the list of what constitutes an amendment to approved regulating plans, SDPs, and zoning permits. This will streamline review of new development projects. The big changes here are, in A, an overall increase in project density is no longer automatically an amendment requiring full DRC approval. And in B, the height exceptions or incentives for ADUs, as described in the section above, are now explicitly excluded from counting as amendments to approved plans. Under C, if the floor area ratio is caused by the addition of accessory dwelling units, it's also accepted from the definition of an amendment. D and E, we've added clarifications that they only apply to primary uses. And F through K have been removed given the city's experience that these are typically minor changes that should be allowed and can be addressed adequately through the permitting process versus the rigor of review as an amendment requiring full participation of all property owners. F through K cover reductions in minimum setbacks, increases in build to, reductions in the landscaping area, increases in building coverage, a reduction of parking and loading spaces, and a change in the permitted number of signs. This is the last part of the list of changes that are considered to be an amendment. We made one addition to N to state that modification of on and off-site traffic circulation or parking areas, on-site drainage, landscaping, or other existing improvements could be considered amendments to an approved